Now to a Fox 23 investigation. We've been telling you for several months. First responders in Okmulgee County are upset about the commissioner's decision to move control of the local 911 dispatch center to under the county's jail.
Fox 23's Spencer Humphrey has spent the past few months pushing for transparency from county leaders. In a Fox 23 exclusive, he uncovered text messages that show county commissioners, jail leaders, and even the local district attorney talk behind the scenes about ousting 911 leaders and giving the jail control long before the vote.
We all have these here, the pagers, that will go off when we have any type of call.
For Beggs Mayor and volunteer firefighter Jacob Branson, the call can come at any time.
There might be times we get a house fire in the middle of the night and you're responding by yourself. We pretty much drop what we're doing and respond.
When he's in the thick of it, he depends on clear communication from Okmulgee County's 911 dispatch center. But he says recently that communication has been anything but clear.
We're still getting calls wrong. We're still getting addresses wrong. An instance where I responded to a call where it was a possible cardiac arrest and it was on Grimes Road. Well, the address they gave me took me to the dead end of Grimes Road off of alternate 75. Well, the call was actually off of Highway 75 where it dead ends there. And, you know, that's 15 minutes that I could have had an AED on scene and started CPR and, you know, possibly saved a life.
I was there in March when county commissioners voted to move control of the 911 center from the county's emergency management department to the Okmulgee County Criminal Justice Authority. Now, that's a trust that oversees the county's jail. The jail had controlled the 911 center up until about a decade ago. Firefighters from departments all across the county showed up in force to that March meeting. They wanted commissioners to know before they voted that moving it back to the jail would cause the problems they're now seeing.
The jail is not the place to put it. It got moved away from the jail because they didn't do a very good job for us, the firefighters, the emergency management directors, EMS.
Branson said from what he'd heard, commissioners had planned to vote this way no matter the opposition. In fact, he says it wasn't uncommon to see commissioners discussing county business outside of public meetings.
Pretty much ever since Zellner and Mr. Walker and all of them has been in office, they've been having these illegal meetings.
Oklahoma's Open Meeting Act requires county commissioners to only talk about government business at public meetings.
I've caught them myself in Glenpool discussing county business. Mr. Walker and Mr. Zellner were having breakfast or just finishing up, and they were discussing about a new backhoe or track hoe or excavator they had just bought for the county. We know of a fact of a couple instances where they've had a couple meetings off the books at a restaurant in Okmulgee with all three of them.
Branson's talking about El Avocado restaurant. He says one meeting happened just a day before the commissioners voted to move the 911 center, and they had some extra people there with them.
The sheriff and jail administrator were both in attendance.
Branson says he knows this because the restaurant showed him their security footage.
The camera didn't cover the table, but it covered all of them walking in together and standing and waiting for the table together.
But when he asked for a copy of the video,
it was quickly shut down.
He says the restaurant told him Okmulgee County District Attorney Carol Iskey said not to share it. So Branson called her.
She wanted to know why we were pushing it, and I said, well, we got word that this is going on, and I'm just trying to get the video footage to confirm it. And she told me, don't worry about it because there's no proof of what they actually discussed.
I went to the restaurant. The manager told me the video from that day had already been recorded over. I asked Commissioners Wallace and Walker about it after they voted on this back in March.
Can you confirm if the three commissioners and the sheriff had lunch together in the past few weeks?
I don't know.
Did you have lunch with the sheriff and the other two commissioners in the past month or so?
I've got to get ready for the next meeting.
Okay, did you have lunch with the commissioners and the sheriff in the past month or so, all three, and the sheriff?
We've got another meeting we got to attend to.
I'm just curious, yes or no? Do you know?
Yep.
You did?
No.
Okay.
I also asked them about something else Branson had heard, that during a February meeting, while in executive session, commissioners went to a retirement party in another room in the courthouse.
Can you talk about what was done in that executive session?
No, we cannot speak about that.
Is it true that there was that executive session, the commissioners went to a retirement party?
Through any meeting, you can take a break to go do stuff.
Do you know what you discussed in that? What was that executive session for?
I'm not sure. I'd have to look back, but we can't.
Gotcha.
It's not open.
Is it true that you went to a retirement party during that executive session?
I'd have to look back and see. Like I said,
Did you ever go to a retirement party during an executive session?
yes, we did for the. Who was it? assistant DA from down McIntosh.
Commissioner Eric Zellner voted no on moving the 911 center. He claimed he'd like to see an audit done first. Commissioners Walker and Wallace voted yes. I asked them why.
Just need to been done. That's all I have to say.
Well, there's a lot of things involved in it. You know, a lot of stuff that we can't talk about that's going on in the background.
I wanted to know what Commissioner Walker meant when he said there were things going on in the background, so I requested open records. I asked for copies of text messages and emails sent between the commissioners, as well as Sheriff Eddie Rice and Jail Administrator Shannon Clark, dating back 2 years. After 2 months, I hadn't heard anything back. I made several calls and sent emails. Nothing. So I showed up at the courthouse in person. Our camera was rolling when the commissioner's secretary asked me how she could help. I told her I was checking on my records request. She told me she thought the county already sent me a response. She then walked over to this man sitting in the lobby.
Do you remember that open records request? Do you remember what the response was?
Oh, this is Fox.
Yeah.
The response is check with the district attorney's office.
I told him I was confused because I'd made the request through this office, not the DA's.
Do you know why? Because it's when
Because we don't have open records in Okmulgee County, you need to go talk to the district attorney.
Is Melissa around here?
there's no open records in Okmulgee County.
I don't think
They haven't ever adopted it. You need to talk with the district attorney.
I told him I was still confused about why he thought the county wouldn't be subject to the state's Open Records Act.
Who are you with?
Oh, yeah.
I'm just Patrick Moore. I'm an Okmulgee citizen.
Oh, okay. You
I'm
work
not
here?
with anybody.
Oh, okay.
Let me take
me.
you over. Let me take you over to the
Okay.
DA's office.
Okay, yeah.
Because that's what I was doing.
Okay.
He knew what my response
So
was.
you don't work here?
No, I don't work here. I'm a citizen here.
Okay.
As it turns out, that man, Patrick Moore, is an attorney, not a county employee. He's the same Patrick Moore the Okmulgee County Criminal Justice Authority named one of its jails after. I didn't get why he would be the one to handle my records request.
Why would she have asked you what the response was to my open records request? Why would you?
I'm the oldest lawyer in Okmulgee County.
But you don't work here, right?
I don't work here, no.
So why would
I'm not
you
an
have had-
employee of the county.
Our conversation didn't stop there.
I'm just confused why you know about my specific request. I mean, you don't work
Because
here. Are you
I
legal?
talked to him about it previously.
Okay. Why would you have talked to him about it if he's not
Hey,
the county?
Don, we don't have anything to do with it. You need to go see the district attorney.
Yeah.
So I stopped by the DA's office. They told me they weren't sure about my request. About a month later, a letter showed up at my desk from the DA's office. When I opened it, it said my records were ready. In those records, I found numerous text messages and emails between county commissioners and jail leaders discussing plans to oust the people in charge of the 911 center and have the jail take it over. In January, 2 months before the commissioners voted, Commissioner Walker texted another commissioner that he'd just spent 3 hours with Jail Administrator Shannon Clark and a whistleblower from 911. Walker texted this to Commissioner Zellner and Jail Administrator Clark, telling them he was going to tell that whistleblower, "I need your help. I've spoken with the district attorney investigator and they are ready to speak with you. They also told me the whistleblower laws would protect you from the feds. I have a lot of things lined up, but we need your statement." I also uncovered these texts directly between Commissioner Walker and that so-called whistleblower, identified on his phone as someone named Misty. He asked her for any unfavorable information she may have about then 911 supervisor Krista Walker. If you can think of anything like dates Krista left and charge time and when she was driving the county vehicle for personal use, jot that down. Also, harassment to employees, etc. All Misty responded to his request with was a screenshot of an unrelated text message. In the records I received, I did not find any evidence of those things Commissioner Walker asked Misty for. A 911 dispatcher who worked for Krista spoke at the commissioners' meeting back in March, saying any accusations of mismanagement would be news to her.
We handle everything, I think, in a well-organized manner. I haven't ever had any complaints.
Krista herself spoke up too.
I mean, it's running, it's going. I think I have a good relationship with everybody around here and in the community. They know me. If they need something, they know who to call. I get it.
Commissioner Walker not only talked about finding ways to remove Krista, but also her boss, then County Emergency Management Director Tim Creighton. He texted Jail Administrator Clark, "I would like to sit down with you to talk about getting Krista gone and maybe Tim." Creighton ended up retiring from his position a couple days before commissioners voted. Krista Walker sent commissioners her resignation after the vote. In February, still a month before that vote, Commissioner Walker texted Misty again. "The DA is supposed to keep this confidential," he told her. "I will also get feedback from Eric," referring to his fellow commissioner, Eric Zellner. "Be sure to spend more time with your husband, who knows more about what they need to make notes." Later that month, he told her Jail Administrator Clark, "Told me you put in your resignation for the 24th and that he would hire you. I can write up a statement for you to sign so you can't be fired." Now, I still want to know why the public never heard about that so-called whistleblower and any investigation surrounding her. I also want to know who her husband is that Commissioner Walker suggested would know more about the situation. Again, all those texts went down before commissioners voted to move control of the 911 center. Now, I've tried to follow up with the DA, with Jail Administrator Clark, Sheriff Rice, and all three commissioners, but none have gotten back to me. I also reached out to former emergency manager and former 911 supervisors, but I have not heard back from them either. In the studio, covering news that matters, Spencer Humphrey, Fox 23 News.